Did you hear the rumor that they're gonna retheme the Fast and the Furious ride?
No, don't mess with my heart like that.
I haven't heard it personally, but people are asking me about it. So,
Definitely needs to be something different.
hello and welcome to the ParkStop podcast, episode 25.
Yay, punchiness!
I had to do the math in my head.
Did it hurt?
A little bit. Today we're going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights and what it would have been like, and a little bit of news.
That's just sad.
I did want to remind everyone that it's formerly etscent.com. It's parkscents.com. Released a new Halloween Horror Nights candle for 2020. And you can use promo code ParkStop, all one word, at checkout to save 15% off your order.
Do it, guys. He makes good stuff. I like Nick's stuff.
Yeah, I got the new version this year. I really like it because I went to the tribute store and the next day I smelled the candle and I'm like, this kind of smells like the first room of the tribute store. And it makes me think of Halloween Horror Nights. So it's like a haunted house in your house. parkscents.com/parkstop, or just use promo code ParkStop. I'll put a link in the description, but
That's easier.
It's pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Or just, scroll down till you see the orange label and then get the Halloween one. Or the ET one. If you haven't got the ET one, you really need to get that
ET one's
too.
good. I like that one too.
Bring a little bit of Halloween Horror Nights home. We have some news.
News? Like what?
First, it's news that we haven't done a news segment in a year. I don't know if you remember. We used to do news segments.
We did?
Yeah. Okay, this is weird because we're going to talk about the Jurassic coaster. Just briefly, I just want to mention it because we did see Wraptors. But there's a very good chance that they might... No, who am I kidding? They're not going to announce this thing. People are saying they might announce this whole Velocicoaster thing in September. So, of course, with my luck, the day this comes up, an hour after I publish this podcast, it's going to be announced. So,
of course.
Everyone enjoy the announcement. Or if you're listening to this next year and the ride has been open for 2 months and they still haven't announced it, that's just universal.
Yep. And this is Raptors with a W that we saw, right?
Raptors. Yeah, they were wrapped in saran wrap.
Yep, I'll see myself out. Bye, guys.
We saw 3 of them. I saw I was actually there at the park and I was leaving. And as I was leaving, I saw Orlando Informer tweeting out like footage of a wrapped raptor being airlifted into the raptor paddock area of the roller coaster. And I'm like, oh man, of course I'm leaving. I'm going to miss this. And then they did it again with a second one the next day. And then they did it with a third one a couple days later. And I'm like, all right. Like I kept asking, like, is this the same one or is this a third raptor? Like, this is the third raptor. Raptor with a W. No, it's
Put
3
your
different
raptor
raptors.
in, you take your raptor. Sorry.
And those of you that have been paying attention or watched my first vlog with the bad audio, I did say that there is a rumor of 8 total Raptor, 6 animated figures, 2 static. So we don't know which ones these are. These could be 2 of the static ones, and one looked like he had a hinge thing on his neck, so he might be having he could be a head bobbing dinosaur.
Aren't they all she's? Excuse me.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You get confused when they're named Charlie. I'm so sorry. But with this many figures, I really hope they're painted different and we get, Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo.
Do you think the stationary figures that don't have any automation are going to move toward us or something? Like quickly? Or do you think they're just going to be standing there?
I think they're just going to be they could be statues at the entrance for all we know. These 3 though are inside the paddock. They might have slight motion, or the rumor of them being 6 of them being animated. Maybe that includes just like bolting it to a platform that is on motion base or something. So that technically would be animated, but like the raptor itself is static. That could be it.
I don't know. I'm just wondering about those 2. It seems weird to have 2 that don't do anything in a ride that's so immersive looking.
Well, it could be like that Hulk statue in front of the Incredible Hulk coaster. It doesn't do anything either.
Yeah.
The dragon doesn't do anything on top of Gringotts. It just breathes fire.
Yeah, but it does something. It breathes fire.
Oh, do you want the raptors to breathe fire? Is that what you're telling me?
Is that an option?
What else has InGen been working on?
I mean...
Not only have they installed 3 Raptors that we know of, but they've also installed electric fences and paddock walls. Ian, have you seen the walls that have
I
gone up?
did. They're pretty cool.
The blogger blockers?
Yep, they're pretty cool.
Uh,
So wait,
I,
there's
yeah.
they added an electric fan. Is this Volcano Bay we're talking about now? Oh, sorry.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
No, only when it's underwater. The I don't think we talked about it on the podcast or on videos, but I was chatting on the forums about it, and they're like, "Are they going to put, these paddock walls on the whole thing, and it's going to be like the
That's cool.
Indominus Rex paddock? Well, then we won't be able to see it." And I was like, "No, there's a viewing area. There's a couple viewing areas." Which reminds me of the dialogue from original Jurassic Park, and Hammond's like, "There's a viewing area down below." Muldoon's talking. Most people miss that line, but there's a viewing area down below. Yeah, so we'd be able to walk up to the electric fence, just don't touch it. And you can see the coaster go by through this one little section directly across from the river adventure entrance. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I can't wait to see this thing done. The rock work and everything is going to be amazing looking.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like an actual animal enclosure in a zoo of dinosaurs.
It's not a zoo.
It's not a zoo.
Spared no expense.
Some of the beams for the electric fence paddock walls were signed by team members last week, and then they installed them, and you can like walk by and actually read them. And Austin over at Amusement Insider zoomed in, and he found one. It was hashtag Osprey Watch 2020. So
Nice.
and whoever that was, that's awesome. You're awesome.
It's amazing. That's so fun.
Speaking of 3 raptors, the 2 ospreys that were trying to build a nest built 3 nests over the course of a week, a little over a week, and I think Universal or someone or the wind keeps knocking their nest down, and they just
Aw.
kept building another one. But then they put this blue saran wrap over top of the top hat to keep the raptors from building their nests. But guess what they did? They
They built
tore it
something.
because they have raptor claws.
Of course they did. I was going to say they built another nest inside of the plastic.
I think they're still working on tearing it open because I don't think they built a nest yet, or they realized that it's getting too hot now with all this plastic absorbing the heat of the sun. I don't know.
Poor birdies.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave the raptors in their raptor enclosure. What's wrong with that?
They like it. The ospreys like it up there because they can keep an eye on the fishies down below, so they can swoop down, grab some fish, bring it up to their babies at the top of the top hat.
I'm okay with this. Can they just make a tower just for them to build a nest in so we can have both?
Right, overlooking
awesome.
we need Raptor Tower overlooking the Raptor Tower, because there's that game warden tower above the ride. Would make that instead of a warden tower, make it an Osprey Tower.
There you go.
Osprey Tower Watch 2020. So there you have it. The Velocicoaster probably announced by the time you're listening to this, or sticking with Universal's never announcing anything. It'll never be announced, but it's making good progress. It looks like all the tracks installed, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It looks so fun. I can't wait for this ride. But until they announce it, I don't know what ride we're talking about.
Yeah, there's nothing to see here. It doesn't look like anything to me.
We're going to talk about sad stuff too, aren't we?
I mean, I'm optimistic and hopeful for the future, but yes, it is sad. Halloween Horror Nights was officially canceled in late July for Orlando.
Oh.
I mean, we heard it was canceled for Hollywood prior to that because they hadn't even opened, and they still haven't opened yet. So we knew that. That was no surprise, but
we were guessing between ourselves that it was probably going to get canceled. We were just hoping it wouldn't happen.
I mean, as of Monday that week, it wasn't canceled. People were still being hired. They were still working on the houses. They were going to announce it that Thursday, and instead of announcing it, they canceled it the next day. Or they announced they canceled it the next day. Like they had the ticket website was still selling the special price tickets, and then it went down. And normally they put up the new price tickets, and it didn't go up. And it's like, oh, this is bad.
Yep. I had heard that it wasn't going to happen, but then, like you just talked about, they kept going forward. So I was hopeful, but it's just so sad.
Universal wanted to do it.
Of course they did.
Clear. This is a big part of their money, and they were doing what they could. And I mean, according to Theme Park University, a story they did, and it sounds believable to me. The Orange County officials met with Universal and did a walkthrough earlier that week. And it's the same thing they did before opening the parks. They wanted to check on the safety precautions that they put in place, see the social distancing and stuff.
Yep.
And they requested, they're like, can we widen the walkways in the haunted houses? And Universal's like, no, we've been building these since February. Like, there's no time to do that. And that was the nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's morbid it's perfect for the event, I guess. But
It
yes,
is.
no, they were probably 90% ready to go. Like, they were putting final touches on things, and they were hiring scare actors. So it was definitely not planned to be canceled. But I think, given the current situation, it's probably for the best. But it financially and for everyone's work, it's definitely a hard hit.
I mean, all those people that were going to have work too probably had that was like a little light at the end of the tunnel for them to get some money.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's sad. Not a fan.
Since all the haunted houses are built, a lot of people are asking, like, are they going to keep it up until next year? And at first I was like, I don't know if they can. Like, maybe they have other uses for the spaces, but they don't for the tents. Do they just keep the parade floats outside for the year if they have no parade buildings? I don't know how that works. But it's someone told me that, yeah, they're going to try to keep as much intact as they can to save money next year on not having to start from scratch.
I'm sure
That the key word there is try, because there's certain things that are out of their control, whether they need to use a soundstage or whether the IP rights holder doesn't want them to utilize the rights for another year, because I'm sure all these contracts are on a season by season basis.
Definitely. Well, they have to be. And we lost out on some cool houses.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, let's talk about what we did get. We got the tribute store. It opens a little bit later than they wanted to. I have a feeling they were scrubbing out of all the 2020s on the inside, or they kept up the banner that says 30 Years of Fear, but they covered up something. So they had to, they definitely scrubbed it of something. But I did get a chance to see the tribute store. It is pretty cool. I've been in there twice now. They are piping in like some kind of sense. Like, the first room is Dr. Frankenstein's lab, and the second room is like an icons room, but it has tons of pumpkins. And I swear I smell pumpkin in there, although it could be a subconscious thing because I see pumpkins. But I swear it's two different smells in those rooms. And the first room smelled like that candle. Use promo code ParkStop. But it's neat because the first room, Frankenstein's lab, with the monster over on the table with the sheet over it and everything, and the icons room with Jack the Clown and like posters from all the different years of the event. Those are probably going to be houses this year. Those were going to be haunted houses this year. Is like something to do with Frankenstein and something to do with the icons. And then they said, like, coming soon, we're going to open another section. And I remember tweeting out that, like, maybe if we say Beetlejuice 3 times, that'll be the next room. And I was kind of kidding. But it opened a few weeks later, and it's totally a Beetlejuice room, which of course is another rumored house. And they also have a snack stand, which is not the first time they sold snacks in there. It's just the first time they sold good snacks in there. Because they did have snacks and like Coke 20 ounces the first year. I think they opened a tribute store. I haven't tried any of the snacks yet, but I've seen footage of the beating gummy heart.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I honestly don't want to know how it works. Like, I want to believe.
So I saw someone that ate one, and I guess there's like a hollowed out section, and so it's probably just kind of air pump that's pulling the air to make it move on the tray, because it doesn't
on the tray.
That.
It doesn't keep
only
pumping.
No, as far as I know, it doesn't work once you.
Because the tray looked solid to me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's got to be something, some kind of pinhole or something that's like a vacuum or something to pull them down.
Oh,
it's got to be because
you just murdered the magic.
Whatever. It's just a guess. It's just a guess. That was my guess on how they're doing it from what I've seen.
I want to believe that there is a mechanism inside, and you have to chew through the mechanism.
Yeah, of course.
Like eating a glow cube.
Except for gears. There's gears in this one.
No, there's gears. Well, there's batteries in a glow cube, so
edible battery and gears.
Yeah.
Gummy battery.
It's a beating heart. It's its own power source. So the Beetlejuice room, though, is really cool. Like,
it looks awesome.
The whole tribute store is done really well, and it's nice to have some small taste of Halloween Horror Nights. And to feel like you're actually going through a little bit of a haunted house. And they're doing a really good job of like pulsing people in and out, so that's never too crowded. But the Beetlejuice stuff was really great to see. Seeing like the on the stairs, the Beetlejuice snake. I gotta be careful saying his name too much.
I know you're gonna summons him.
And
He's gonna show up.
the old Maitlands, the when Otho brought them back to life and they're just aging rapidly. So it's weird because like you're in the line for checkout and you have to look at these floating, crinkly old dead people floating above you. And then here lies Betelgeuse, really cool like graveyard model scene. And but then there's little touches too, like I like the newspaper that like talks about the sandworm attacks increasing over last year, because
That's
it reminds
awesome.
me of the introduction to his character in the movie, and it's just like him reading the paper. It doesn't show his face, and he's like, ah, damn sandworm, like he's just mumbling under his breath. He's just a normal guy living in an afterlife world. I heard the house was going to have a giant sandworm puppet, and that, oh my god,
Oh,
that I didn't even think about that. Like, cause they do those giant puppets sometimes.
that's so
Um,
sad.
I think there was one at was it Hollow Scream had like an alligator or crocodile for like a New Orleans theme stuff. Giant crocodile comes jumping out, and they're not
So
like
cool.
they really come at you. And I got hit in the face by a giant crocodile. That might have been Ominous Descent, actually. Anyway, so a giant sandworm would have been amazing. But the house is really cool, and they have the waiting room. They have the like brothel that he made. I like that.
Oh.
That's a. I don't think people know what that is. There's like the Dante's facade or whatever, and people are walking by it, and I'm like, that's from the movie too. That's the scene where like, Adam, why would you build that in the model? And he's like, I didn't build that. And Beetlejuice has his spikes out, and he's like dancing, and he's heading toward the ladies. It's a very weird scene in the movie. Um, yeah, tribute
That's
store.
cool.
It's where it's
I want to
at.
go in that store. I want to go in the Beetlejuice store.
It's the hottest new club. They got cool merchandise too.
There's a
Not
lot
just
of cool little things in there too, right? Like there's more little stuff like hidden all over the place, isn't there?
yeah. I need to go through again because not just the newspapers, and there's other newspaper stories too, but like there's little things on the wall and little plaques and signs. On the way out is the waiting room for the afterlife like social care area, and you see the long number, like Beetlejuice's long number. You see the bottom half of the magician's assistant cut in half lady, and then you see a chair that's all burnt up and crisp,
Oh
but
yeah.
the guy is not in it. It's just the chair, so he's gone. He's already moved on. But like it's another scene I love, and it's like, cigarette. Yeah, I'm trying to cut down myself. Like, his chair is still there. There's actually a little warning about smoking, I think, on the wall or something, so to
Oh, it's
remind you.
so good.
It's little touches. You could tell a lot of care and
So
love,
good.
and a lot of fan service for Beetlejuice put on display here, and all for that original movie. Like, I know there's other media, and there's been a musical and cartoon show, but like also the Universal's done their own version of like the Graveyard Review and stuff. But it's nice to see something just dedicated wholly to the original film.
That's so cool. Oh, speaking of that,
He was the
houses.
host. He was the host of Fright Nights, the very first Halloween Horror Nights, when it wasn't even called Halloween Horror Nights, hosted by
Oh
Beetlejuice,
yeah.
1991. So
Oh
you
yeah.
got Frankenstein Room, Icons Room, and Beetlejuice Room are all big parts of the main characters of the 30 Years of Fear. So I like this. I like the idea. And a beating gummy heart. That room's like themed like an attic or whatever, which is
Yeah.
kind of ties to Beetlejuice because it's like they built the model. He built the model in an attic, but also it's just a bunch of the props that were in the exit gift shop from Terminator/Born before it became Born. When they turned into Monster Shop and they had all the props in there, they kind of moved in
Mhm.
here and put spider webs on it and made it attic-y.
That's cool though. That works.
It's just a spooky atmosphere while you're waiting in line for a
Food.
$6 gummy beating heart.
That Oreo thing, the vegan Oreo brownie thing, is supposed to be pretty good from what I hear from a lot of people. I'm not even vegan. I want to try it.
It's the brownie skull?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. The brownie
I
skull.
mean, I want the gummy heart, but at the same time, it's a sour gummy heart. So I don't know if I'm big on
You
sour.
wuss.
Yeah, well, I just want to eat the crunchy gears.
And the battery. It's a little acid.
Not
Oh
beating
boy.
anymore.
It's Beetlejuice's mini heart from when he shrinks down for the model size.
Imagine going through the house and like it's all the different Beetlejuices from the movie. Like just one of them jumps out and he's got spikes that shoot out of him, or one of them's got jumps out and snakes come out of his head, or his head's spinning.
Oh
Don't,
man.
don't you hate it when that happens? You know, there's just everything.
He's so good.
I want,
He's
I want
so
one.
good.
I want one to just jump out and go, "Hey, look, we shop at the same store." That's all. That's all I want. He's just wearing Adam's outfit.
Oh man, I gotta watch this movie again now.
Oh my god.
Again.
Oh, you
All
know what? You
right.
just reminded me. Let's do it. Let's do it before we go into talking about the house rumors.
Uh-huh.
Um, there
Uh-huh.
is, by the time this comes out, it would have already been announced. But like, there's a little bit of virtual Halloween Horror Nights event going on online, and we're gonna watch like a we're gonna live tweet. Or I'm gonna live tweet. We're gonna watch Beetlejuice at the same time on what would have been, I guess, the opening day of Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay. I'm into it.
So
Wait,
yeah.
I was gonna say can we do it on Discord? Can I participate and be on Discord?
Oh my god, yeah, we can live chat it and live tweet it,
Yeah, I'm just
and
saying because
yeah,
then our listeners can talk to us while we watch it. I'm down with that.
yeah.
Now that I know what's going on, what is Beetlejuice even streaming on right now? If I wanted to stream it,
Peacock.
that means there's commercials, though, right?
No, not if you're an annual pass member and you get the free 90-day trial. So I think it's I'm gonna voice over this part if I get the date wrong. Saturday, September 12th. There's going to be a schedule released this coming Monday, which would have already passed by the time you're listening to this podcast. But at some point during the evening, we're gonna do Howling Horror Nights trivia online, recipes. I'm giving away a Halloween Horror Nights icons keychain on Twitter, and we're gonna watch Beetlejuice, and then we're gonna watch Bride of Frankenstein later that
Whoa,
night. So
that's
it's
pretty
like a
cool.
whole night of internet fun to try to, still enjoy the spirit of Halloween Horror Nights. And the reason we're watching Beetlejuice and Bride of Frankenstein is, see, I'm segueing in because those were supposed to be houses.
Yay! We might do trivia with Darren helping, right? For
Yeah, we're
Halloween
gonna do
Horror
our
Nights.
own trivia later this month.
Yay!
Sometime late September. We always do Patreon trivia every few months, but this one's going to be an everyone trivia. So if you're not in our Facebook group, Theme Park Stop, get in there so you can find out about or join the Discord. Link in the description.
Why are you asking me or telling me?
I don't. There's no way to say join our Discord. Here's the link, and it's like a bunch of gobbledygook. Like I can't. There's no easy. You have to be invited. It's like being a vampire. You have to be invited into a Discord. So, Bride of Frankenstein was originally rumored as the brides, and I
Yep.
think it was going to be like Dracula's bride and Frankenstein's bride. Did Dracula have a bride? I don't remember this.
I don't remember. Well, it could have been anybody that he kind of hypnotized and took as his bride, I guess.
I
I
mean,
don't
there's a son
remember.
of Frankenstein, so what do I know?
That I know. I don't know about Dracula's bride.
Well, yeah. So the
Not as a
rumor,
classic monster, at least.
the last rumor was it was a Bride of Frankenstein house because we've had a Frankenstein house, I guess. Well, we've had a Frankenstein versus Wolfman in Hollywood. Okay, so for all these rumors, we're talking about Orlando because Hollywood, I don't have any information on it. I think it got canceled pretty early on, but for Orlando, Bride of Frankenstein, Beetlejuice, and like we said, there's going to be an icons house where all the different icons featured in like that second room in the tribute store would be a part of this house. And these are like the only three I got official. Well, there's one more I got official confirmation on, but I think there was going to be like a giant throne room for Jack the Clown. So he was definitely getting his spotlight for the event because he's been a big part of it in the last decade or so. So going into the tribute store, I wonder to myself, I'm like, is that Frankenstein's monster underneath that? Or is that Bride of Frankenstein underneath that?
I wonder. So wait, isn't there? Okay, so I haven't been in the store. I've only seen pictures. Isn't there a throne in there that looks like it belongs to Jack somewhere? Or am I
I
just
don't know.
remembering the Jack thing they have in there?
He's just standing in the middle. Also, is that the one from the exhibit, like the display in the horror makeup show lobby? That's what I
Oh, it might
wonder.
be. Might be
Yeah,
actually. I've only
because
seen
I don't.
pictures though. So
I, they don't have that lobby open right now, or at least they didn't when I was there, because they're doing the Marilyn Monroe show in front of it, and they're
mhm.
leading people in through the back entrance. So I wonder if they stole that Jack the Clown, because he's really lifelike.
Yeah, he's cool. He looks cool from the pictures.
Like seeing it in person, I keep looking at it and like I'm looking at his teeth, and I'm like, I keep expecting him to snap at me.
I
And they
showed a
have like a
picture of
little
Jack.
laugh. They have a little laugh playing in the background.
Oh, that's
So
great.
while I was doing my like vlog in there, and I'm filming it, I'm like, "Bye, Jack," and I say, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
I
He
showed a
laughs
picture of
back.
Jack to my friend Cass, and she's like, "Nope, she doesn't like clowns."
Yeah. So the Icon's house. I liked the director just because I like movie mashup houses, but I used to like the director. Um, the caretaker. Who else was there? Storyteller.
Yeah, storyteller. Oh man, you got all the ones I know. What was
That's all I know.
the
The
usher?
usher.
Yep,
Yeah.
the usher.
All of them all.
Uh, yeah, all of them. The all of them. What's
So the Icon's house.
what's Jack's girl there? Why am I
Chance.
blanking? Yeah, Chance. Oh
Chance.
man, I need sleep. Sorry guys, I'm bad at this.
You're just making me sound good. I'm not the biggest expert on Halloween Hornets. I enjoyed the event, but I'm not like big into remembering all the dates and things. But like, yeah, it just made me look good because I remembered all these things. And only half of them are written down in front of me.
Only half. I don't have
Yeah.
any written down in front of me. I'm just trying to remember them.
The other house that we got some confirmation of was Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, so sad.
Is that a show you watch? I have not
Of
seen it.
course, that show is so good. You should watch it. It's not really so for people that haven't watched that show for whatever reason, it's really not that scary. There's a couple of scary parts, but it's more creepy, especially if you watch it a second time and pay attention to the background and see things moving and things like
Well, now I'm going to pay
you
attention
don't
the first
notice.
time.
That's fine. It's fine. It's interesting. There you'll even if you pay attention to the story and look. And then there's the writers. I don't know if it's intentional, but someone came up with a theory about like the different what the kids all represent, which is kind of an interesting take too. So if you
Like the
watch
old
it,
Willy Wonka movie. They're all the different
sort of,
seven deadly sins.
yeah, it's supposed to be the not to give it away, but it's been out for a while. So spoilers, I guess. But
I
apparently,
haven't seen it yet.
okay,
No, go.
so
No, go ahead.
so like the stages of grief is basically what they
Oh,
kind of
okay.
represent. It's kind of
All right.
interesting if you watch it through
That
that
makes sense.
lens. So even if it's not true, it still works. So
Is it a continuing show or is it over? Like, is it
no, there's a new the Haunting of Bly House is coming out soon. I think it's called Bly House.
my concern is with this is Netflix, right?
Yeah.
My concern is with this type of IP, keeping the house, which from what I heard was really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like keeping this up for next year, it's dependent on like whether or not Netflix wants to continue to push that first season of this show, or whether they like maybe they want to push Stranger Things. And they're like, look, like we did the other houses with Stranger Things, let's do season 4 now and like tear down the Haunting of Hill House. We don't care anymore. And like that could be
Oh,
a situation where this is a house we never see. Like that's what I worry about. I really just want Beetlejuice though. Just keep
I know you do.
Beetlejuice up. I
I think
really
if you
want.
watch I think if you watch Haunting a Hill House, you want that house. It's really cool looking.
I mean, yeah,
It's
I'm gonna look.
really cool looking.
I think I'll check it out eventually, especially as we get closer to Halloween. I'm going to be looking for more creepy things to watch.
Yeah, and then the second season will be out, the Bly House, but you're just gonna have to watch the first one first. So there.
Yes.
I don't know why. Just because. I don't know. All right.
Other houses were rumored. They were talked about by lots of people, including the Billie Eilish. Is that how we say
Don't
this?
ask me. I don't listen to this stuff. I barely know who
Um,
that is.
yeah, it's a musician, I guess.
I'm old. I'm old,
We're
kids.
old. We're old. I have
I
nothing
know who.
against it. We had a really cool, like, we had the
Yeah,
uh,
the Rob Zombie thing.
Rob Zombie. Yeah, he's had multiple houses, although through the Thousand Corpses, but he also had his own Scare Zone last year. So
Yep.
I'm all for giving a musician a house, and Universal always knocks it out of the park. So I was never against anything. I just don't. I'm unfamiliar with her music.
Yep. It's a her. I
Okay.
don't know her music either. I know who she is, but I don't really know any of her. It's not my style of thing. It's not my thing, kids. So
But
no,
it
no offense.
certainly sounded like it was a pretty surefire rumor. Uh,
Yeah, it
uh,
seemed to be. I was kind of curious to see what they were going to do with it, though,
yeah,
even though I
I'm
don't know her
actually
music. So still curious.
Another one that was heavily rumored, especially toward the end, was an anniversary house, which is different from an icons house because it lacks the
Mm,
icons. it's it would be
sure.
another type of mashup best of, but like for the
I
best
was,
of scenes from different. They
yeah,
did
I was
this on the
gonna say.
25th anniversary. They had a little a best of house that kind of was. It ended with a room full of jacks, which was kind of neat. But they brought back like one room that was just gothic, and I was super excited. So if this is one of those situations where it's like, here's the best of all our favorite scenes from your favorite houses, and like here's American Werewolf, and here's gothic or whatever.
That'd
I'd
be
be okay
cool.
with that.
I'm very okay with that.
Originally, it was rumored to be Blumhouse's Invisible Man, I think, but
Oh, that would have been cool too. I actually like that movie.
I loved the movie, but I don't know if it's necessarily a horror movie so much as a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's
Um,
creepy. It's
is
creepy.
It's yeah, I watched that at a drive-in. That was like one of my things to do during the pandemic that felt safer, and it was like a impromptu drive-in on the back of a movie theater wall. But being inside a car in the night is even more creepy to watch Invisible Man. We were watching. It's like
Yeah.
midnight when the movie ended. That was terrifying.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that movie. I thought they did a good job with it. It was a good way to update it and stuff, I thought. And it was still creepy as anything. It was really creepy.
So for whatever reason, I don't think we got that. We were getting the anniversary house instead,
Which
which I'm
sounds
fine
fun
with.
anyway.
I'm
Yeah.
good with best of houses. If I turn the corner, I'm in a completely different environment. It usually makes me happy.
Well, I'm even okay. We're gonna make me sad again for the next one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Are you a big fan?
Mm. Well, who isn't?
I don't know. There've been like
Leatherface.
7 movies at this point,
It's
and
so creepy and weird. Oh, that the house that he lives in. Either no matter which era, the house is pretty cool.
what was the one with was it Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, geez, I don't even remember that
the
one.
family one.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even remember that one.
That's unfortunately, I think that's the last one I saw, mid 90s or whatever.
Yeah, it's not great. The,
Now, so
the
one
original
would
is awesome.
assume, one would say, have they ever done a Texas Chainsaw Massacre before?
I don't think
House?
so. I don't think so. I mean, I'd be curious to know if they're going to do it, base it off the original or base it off the remake.
When was the remake?
2003.
Yeah, then I would go with the original because they did like the Halloween the first Halloween house was based on the original, so and they
Yeah,
did a poltergeist house and all that stuff.
the guy that played Leatherface was a pretty bulky guy in the remake. I wasn't too upset with that, but yeah,
No Gremlins house was rumored, even though that's the one I wanted.
lame.
Before I knew there was going to be a Beetlejuice house, that's one I wanted the most. But now that I know there was going to be a Beetlejuice house, it's like, okay, that's pretty cool too. But I want
Lame.
Gremlins house.
I know you do. You really want a
Um,
Gremlin's house.
and there was 3 more possible original houses. One, when I saw Pumpkin Lord was rumored, and most of these are from the Horror Night Nightmares speculation map, other than the
Yep.
4 that we've heard of for sure. And like they do a great job of putting out these speculation maps, and they're usually pretty spot on. This year was probably a little harder given the current situation, but Pumpkin Lord, I'm looking at it going, what in the world is Pumpkin Lord? And then they wrote Twisted Tradition on the last version. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, that's that like Central Park scare zone with all the pumpkins, like the rotted
Oh,
pumpkins and like the
that's pretty
scary
cool.
pumpkin stilt guy. And it's like, okay, it's like then that would be a good use of the rotted pumpkin scent in a haunted house. I'm fine with being
Ew.
attacked by pumpkin people. I like it when they take a scare zone that was successful and turn it into a house.
That's kind of what they do, though, isn't it? Kind of became their MO.
Well,
Try it out as
okay,
a scare zone and then turn it into a house.
was bedtime stories
Ooh,
a
that I don't
house
remember.
or a scare zone? All I know is they keep trying to bring Tooth Fairy into this, and this again another time when they have Tooth Fairies on the speculation map, and it's every time we see that, I'm like, nah, it's gonna get changed. It always gets changed. But this time was supposedly it was gonna happen, and I now at this point I just want to see what Tooth Fairy is. Like I need to know if it keeps getting back onto these speculation maps, it must be good.
It's the little Bluetooth fairies from Hellboy. That's all. They just fly around and eat your teeth and your skeleton. That's
I
fine.
was thinking, who was is it Larry the Cable Guy? I'm trying to think of who was in the Tooth Fairy movie, or is it The
No, no,
Rock?
that was The
It's
Rock.
the it was the what's the Larry the no it don't answer the I just want to see that would be amazing though if it was The Rock like Dwayne Johnson just dressed as a Tooth Fairy like get out of my haunted house, get out of here.
Him yelling at you might be kind of scary.
I was trying to think of what he says in the pre-show Musion scene on the Fast and Furious. Cookie Puss, give me all your teeth, Cookie Puss. Like that's what I that's what I imagine when I see Tooth Fairy. Then there was one more, 10th house, Mannequin Theater.
Oh
I
boy,
I don't know. I got nothing. I got
that's
nothing.
kind of creepy. Mannequin theater. So if there's just mannequins hanging out and when some of them are real, just kind of turn and look at you or jump at you, that would be kind of for creepy.
That reminds me of the last scene in the 25th anniversary house when there's Jacks. There's like a row of Jack the Clowns, and one of them was real or two of them was real. Um,
Reminds me of the movie Hellfest.
reminds me of the movie Mannequin. No, do you remember? Do you remember a TV show in the 80s on Nickelodeon? It was one of those
Nope.
Canadian shows that they just bought the rights to. It was like a toy store in a mall, and like this mannequin came to life at night. No? Okay. Leave comments in the comment section below about how I'm not crazy and this did exist.
I'm just gonna Google that now for my own mental health.
It's a
Says I'm-
Canadian kids show that was purchased by Nickelodeon in the mid to early 1980s, where a mannequin would come to life in a toy store in a mall in the middle of the night. What? Totally normal memory to have and have no proof of it existing.
Now you're making me think of that. Today's
Night at the Museum?
special. Today's special.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. That's what comes up when I put in Nickelodeon mannequin comes to life in toy store.
Did it come on between Mighty Mouse and Banana Man? Like these are things that are in my mind from the 80s and I can't
don't know.
erase them.
I don't know, but you're gonna have to look this show up, today's special, and see if that's it.
It's probably it.
It looks kind of weird.
1981 to 1987, department store.
That can't be
Yeah.
it.
A mannequin with a magic hat that can make them come to life. Yeah, no, I think you found it.
Oh, you know what? I do remember this. I only remember because of the mannequin is the dude in like the vest, right, with the hat.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that's him. That's it. I only saw a little bit of that.
Apparently, I haven't seen it since 1987, so what do I know? Okay. Well, that was a fun little diversion.
Detective work.
Horror Night Nightmares also had some possible scare zones on their list. Speculation map, anniversary scare zone, 30 years of fears. Again, these are different. One was called, I meant to look this up, Terra Cruentus? Cruentes?
No idea.
I was at least going to search up critters, maybe? Earth critters. This is my guess. Earth critters. Terra Cruentes.
Terra Cruentes was a land ruled by the Terra Queen.
Earth Queen?
Apparently.
Creep Show. There was also going to be a scare zone on Creep Show, which is kind of cool too.
It was located in. It was the location of the story of Halloween Horror Nights: Tales of Terror.
Oh, you're actually on the Halloween Horror Nights wiki. Okay,
I'm on a fandom, not the wiki, but fandom. Yeah,
same thing.
Carrying the Virgin Blade, the Bone Choppers travel through the North Hollow passage of Maldekin, and its tests of survival to return Circle to the base of the thick, twisted Gorewood throne of the Queen. Okay, enough of that.
You got to hand it to the creators at to creative people at Halloween Horror Nights. They tie it all together. Like I'm walking through and going, "Ooh, this is scary," and they've got a whole backstory for everything. It's in the same universe. Gotta love it. And there was another original that we didn't get any word of.
Creep Show. That would have been cool too.
Yeah, has there been a Creep Show really house? Cool. I think there was at Hollywood, but okay. So, final thoughts. On sad. Our thoughts are sad.
We're sad.
Yeah.
No scary stuff.
I hope they're able to keep what they have for next year, because I know a lot of work and effort goes into it would be terrible to never be able to get to enjoy what they, have built. And I hope that, the world is in a place that's good enough that we can definitely get the event as intended next year. And we can do it up well, because it'll still be Halloween Horror Nights 30. Just
Yep,
like next
because
year
there
is
was
still going to
one.
be the Olympics 2020. Like, it's still going to keep the name.
Yeah. Well, it's still technically 30. There isn't one. So right now. So it's still the
Exactly. Well,
30th one.
we have our 3.5 rooms of the tribute store. So it's Halloween Horror Nights 30, point one, and we'll get we'll get the other 9 points next year,
Oh,
hopefully.
man. I hope so.
And maybe some of the original houses get swapped out for additional IPs, and we keep the existing IPs. But at this point, I kind of want to know what Tooth Fairy is.
Yeah, I just would like to see that too. For now, I'm just going to keep thinking it's the little Bluetooth fairies from Hellboy.
I just hear you say Bluetooth. Is Bluetooth.
Little
Is that where the
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth
Little
name comes
Bluetooth.
from? Little
No,
Bluetooth.
no, Bluetooth comes from a Viking.
Okay. We have
Mhm.
the tribute store. We could still, go and enjoy that. Or if you're not heading to the parks, enjoy vicariously through people's vlogs. I'm sure there are others who have tried all of the beating hearts and all of the treats, so we can
They
check
still have
that out.
pizza fries though, right? I
They
heard that was
do.
somewhere.
I'm going to check that out next time I'm there. Pizza fries are available at Louis in Universal Studios Florida, the pizza place that is supposedly from The Godfather, but it's spelled differently. But you can get your pizza fries on and then go head through and just linger in each of the rooms and go back and forth, and you can notice the differences in the smells they're pumping in there. I swear it's happening. It's not in my head.
Oh man.
Or if you can't make it out there and you want to smell that first room, Halloween horror candle at parksense.com/parkstop.
Wait, there's a candle? Have you mentioned this before? No, seriously, go support Nick. He makes some really cool stuff. I like his stuff.
Nick is a big supporter of the show, and so Park Sense. Check out his new website; it's pretty cool, and check out the ET candle if you haven't yet.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
And while you're checking things out, check out the new Unbuilt video series on Theme Park Stop's YouTube channel, because I just released another one about the original version of Star Wars Land and what changed from the Star Wars Land that we eventually got. Roaming droids. So
Chapek.
I didn't say his name specifically the whole time. There's no
Lex
need.
Luthor.
There's no need to draw attention. We know why things
to the
were
evil
probably...
man behind the curtain.
Although I will say, when it comes to roaming droids, I do feel bad because I was going through footage of the Jake play test they did in Tomorrowland and Disneyland. I'm going through footage of it, and I'm looking up for clips to include where people were enjoying meeting this droid, and the kids were just trying to knock him over the whole time. Kids kept going over. I heard a parent in the background touch him, touch the droid. It's what's wrong with you people? Stop touching the droid. Why do you keep...
Leave him alone? He's got feelings.
Some kids were hugging him. That's cute. That's adorable. But everyone wanted to touch him. So if we had roaming droids, it would probably be terrible for the droids. And I'd feel bad for them the whole time. So
probably, but it'd be great for us.
We need roaming droid roads that are blocked off and out of our way, so we can see them roam, but at the same time, put them on conveyor belts. I don't care. Just
have them walk with escorts. They're not always alone.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do with R2. And they have a handler for R2. Halloween Horror Nights will...
What?
Sorry. What?
I was going to say we have Teespring stuff too.
We do?
Never talk about. I guess so.
Have we not hawked enough this episode?
No. I mean, if you're going to go all in these ParkSense stuff that Nick makes,
but that's not even my thing. That's not even, we should talk about our own products. I have a shirt that says, "What? No." I totally forgot.
Of shirts and
I need to order that for myself.
I need to order some of this stuff for myself. I need a mug for the Orlando Commando because that's normally how I would vacation.
Yeah, you created the Orlando Commando, which is how we normally would. We'd be rope dropping. But in the current situation, I do come in a little bit later because I don't want to be around people. But normally...
Charge! I'm sorry.
I don't... What's it's teespring.com/theme...
There'll be a link below because that's how it works.
Park-stop.
There's probably shirts below this video, actually, from the Teespring, isn't there?
If you're on the YouTube, there's shirts down there. You'll notice one says, "What? No!"
We're so prepared.
Pizza fries.
Okay, guys. Bye.